Hey everyone, The Running Man has officially changed my mind about remakes and adaptations. Until this film, I was kind of done with them. It feels like every week Hollywood is recycling something. Seriously, can't anyone tell a new story anymore? Did we really need another remake of, especially this campy classic of The Running Man? You know, the one that starred Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, that one. It's a classic. Well, the short answer to my question is yes, but maybe not for the reason that you're thinking. So let's talk about why The Running Man, starring Glen Powell, Josh Brolin, and Colman Domingo, needed to be adapted from Stephen King's story and remade in 2025 by director Edgar Wright. And let's get into the points in this film that really earned that answer, even though, it is not a cinematic masterpiece. So, why did this one change my mind? Well, let me know what you think in the comments if you agree with me or not, because I definitely want to talk about this one together. All right, so The Running Man opens in a lightly dystopian near future world where corporate media culture, surveillance, and the monetized spectacle of the games have infiltrated everyday life. Everything is corporatized. Life itself is profit driven, and reality itself is sculpted for control and designed for media ratings. It's honestly a weirdly perfect metaphor for the monetization of our private lives through social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and others, which immediately caught my attention. So, point one for adaptations, that's how you make an adaptation feel relevant to a new audience. Ben Richards is a working class guy. He's tried to stand up for people. He fought against the corporate world and ended up being blacklisted for his efforts. He can't secure stable employment. He can't cover health care for his sick daughter. And he is pushed into making a desperate choice to afford her medicine and to also save his wife from having to work yet another triple shift at her job. The game world really becomes his last resort. He tries out for one of the lesser games, only to be pushed into becoming one of the three contestants on The Running Man. That comes with this incredible signing bonus and payday that would absolutely save his family and his daughter. That's where this film really takes off. Right out the gate, the vibe of this film grabbed me. The music stood out for its blend of fresh and repurposed songs, giving The Running Man a fantastic vintage 70s energy that filtered through the modern musical lens. The visual aesthetic also felt deliberate, with a retro design for some of the technology and the architecture that really fits seamlessly into both the sleek, shiny cityscape as well as the rural backwoods of Maine and everywhere in between. The clothing, the modern speech, and the social issues all resonate with a contemporary audience, giving viewers an immediate entry into the story because we can see ourselves in Ben Richards' world, even if not in Ben Richards himself. This is point two for adaptations, updating an old story so that its visual and audio style feels both contemporary and retro at the same time is a great way to engage a younger audience's interest in the story being told because it also feels like it's for them. And now they're paying attention to what the story is telling them. The way this film builds momentum is one of its most interesting strengths. From the beginning, it establishes the media as the real power player here, directing society and shaping truth and manipulating our perception. That dynamic, it drives the story's energy, not just the action. And that's a really important point. The opening moves at a slower burn as it sets up Ben Richards' character, the world he's fighting against, and the limitations pressing down on him. Some viewers are going to feel kind of impatient for the action to actually begin, but I think that the slow opener really gives us space to understand what is at stake before the chaos hits. Without that kind of quiet stretch, the later adrenaline rush would just feel a bit exhausting and noisy. Once the game begins, the energy shifts into high gear. Runners are hunted across the city and even into any haven where they find some kind of sense of security to flee and to spend time. And their every move is broadcast to the ravenous public. Richards must survive not only the hunters and the corporation behind the show, but also his own anger and the fear he's feeling for his family. With help from others, he learns how the system works and how to use its rules against the network. His shift from reactive player to proactive opponent is what rewrites this game. That evolution briefly interrupts the on screen action as Ben's growth kind of causes the narrative to pivot and pause and then re engage. This is where the story kind of takes a breath before punching through into that climactic ending that borders on kind of on the absurd in a very intentional way. What we see in that pause is Ben taking control of his own narrative. The ending doesn't rely on shock value or cynicism. It feels earned and it delivers the story's promise in the end. And point three for adaptations here: knowing how to use contemporary themes that resonate across generations and class structures in a way that connects us in a moment that turns spectacle into this relatable storytelling. Glen Powell brings sincerity and a grounded everyman quality to Ben Richards. He's not a trained assassin capable of Mary Sue level action. Instead, he's just this regular guy with smart instincts and a good head on his shoulders. My only caveat here is that he has anger issues, which feels maybe just a little bit overdone. He's always seeming to be kind of on the verge of losing his temper. And while that fuels some of the bad decisions that he makes in order to make for good story, they could have dialed back that anger just a little bit and still achieved the same effect. Josh Brolin is ruthlessly charming as Dan Killian, the game's producer. He's like a hungry lion in this film. Killian is exactly the kind of media executive that you would expect in this role, embodying everything this film critiques, from unscrupulous corporations to government coercion and social control, all in the name of profit and power. Colman Domingo as Bobby T, the game show host, is terrific. And he's kind of a true evolution of Richard Dawson's character from the original film. He's over the top, he's slick, he's wildly entertaining while still feeling authentic. He provides the perfect public face to Brolin's behind the scenes menace, and together they really sharpen the film's commentary on media and corporate control. From Ben's wife to the hunters, civilians, and other runners, the supporting cast reinforces the larger story, and they all do a good job. Some roles feel a bit more set up than others, but each one gives Richards something to push against or someone to inspire his growth. The ensemble works really well together and keeps the emotional and thematic momentum intact in the overall story. The Running Man's technology deserves some attention here. And you know, I love talking about technology. This is good science fiction that asks, what if you could use AI to edit reality in real time in the moment, or use DNA sniffers with audio and video trackers to find citizens wherever they might go? Good science fiction needs realistic feeling tech. Otherwise, it just becomes unbelievable, forcing unearned payoffs that audiences may or may not choose to forgive. The Running Man's technology delivers believability. We see biometrics, genetic scanners, media penetration through personal devices. We see all of it. Video feeds are incorporated into people's screens, and those screens, they watch you as much as you watch them. Sound familiar, Siri? Some of these technologies already exist today, while others just feel a bit out of reach while still being plausible. The retro look of the tech reads as an homage to older era aesthetics like cathode ray screens, monochrome video, and analog interfaces that feel natural next to the sleek next gen devices that give this world a look that's both familiar and futuristic. The result is a slightly absurd fusion of old and new, but anyone who's lived through the Cold War or Vietnam will recognize the underlying themes of political and social control, now paired with modern concerns about surveillance and data manipulation. The film doesn't shy away from asking us to turn off the feed and think for ourselves. That's the heart of it. And it's what makes this more than just an action movie. It's smart social commentary that doesn't feel forced. And that's point four for adaptations, taking themes from the past and bringing them into the present in ways that connect generations and let us see ourselves in each other. That's a big deal. Is The Running Man ticket worthy? For many people, yeah, I think it is. I think you'll know if this is a film for you, if this is the kind of movie that you're going to want to see before you even walk into the theater. If you like action drama, a thought provoking premise, and a hero who evolves from survival to ownership, I think you'll get a lot out of this film. I didn't expect much from this adaptation, as you have probably guessed from my opener and from some of my past comments on remakes, but I liked it. I genuinely enjoyed this film for all of its flaws and freckles. I had fun. And you know what? That's what I expect when I pay money to go see a movie in the theater. I just want to be entertained. If you go in expecting a highbrow art film or the next best action film, or you're still deeply attached to Schwarzenegger's original, you'll probably be just a little bit disappointed. However, Arnold does have the most unlikely of cameos in this film that will absolutely get a laugh out of you or somebody else in the audience. What you're going to get in this movie is an action film that doesn't always operate at full throttle by design. If you're okay with that, you're likely going to be satisfied. The music, the aesthetics, and the thematic backbone, they all work together to make this a fun night out with friends, family, or hey, by yourself if you just want to go do something on your own. If you're uncertain or only faintly curious about this movie, I say, why not give it a try? It's not a 10 out of 10. No, it's not. But it's easily a 7 or maybe an 8 out of 10 if you're a Glen Powell fan. Now, point 0.5 for adaptations when a remake can surprise a skeptic like me and make old ideas feel new again and remind us that story can trump nostalgia. That's when adaptations work, and that's when they make sense to do. That's why this film convinced me that adaptations really do have a place in our cinemas. Younger audiences are fed so much media right now. Most of them aren't going to dig into video vaults, hoping to find an old movie that's going to resonate with them today. They're just not going to do it. So, if an adaptation can fulfill these five things that I highlighted, then yeah, make it. Make that movie. The Running Man earned its place in the theater for me. And if that doesn't make it ticket worthy, I don't know what would. So, overall, I really enjoyed Running Man. It was exactly the kind of movie that I wanted to watch after a really long, grueling work week. The fact that it resonates with real world issues without being in your face makes it more than just mindless action entertainment. The music and the aesthetic layering added to the experience for me. And honestly, I want to buy this album. I really enjoyed the soundtrack, except it doesn't exist. It's not for sale right now. So that kind of sucks. So, The Running Man, have you seen it? Are you planning to? Let me know what you think in the notes below about the original or this new adaptation. Let's chat in the comments, guys. And hey, do me a favor. If you enjoyed this review, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more and share this video with a friend who just might be thinking about seeing this movie. And why not check out one of these reviews next? That's it for now, guys. I will see you all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing. Bye for now.